Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the Premier Training. We are on week 4, and we're going to be talking about some tips to get enrollments. Now, obviously, if you are a solid elite, you have really figured out how to enroll people. So you might be thinking, I already know this. But one thing I've learned is that I'm never done learning, and that I'm always learning more and more and more. And I'm always thinking after I teach a class, what could I have done better? Or could I have encouraged that person to get a bigger kit that might have been better for them? One thing I hear quite often is, oh, I should have gotten the Home Essentials kit. It comes with a diffuser and it had all of the oils that I wanted and it's the bigger size. I get that feedback from people all the time, is that they should have done that Home Essentials kit. So I've learned to say a few things that help people get a kit that's really going to be beneficial for them. Now, that being said, I want to make sure that I am never pushy and push somebody into a kit they can't afford. There was a time once that I had a girl that was going to be getting the Natural Solutions kit, and she was talking about returning one of her birthday gifts, and she could just borrow her husband's money from his lunch money. And I was thinking, okay, look, these oils are amazing, and we've got this great program called Loyalty Rewards, and you can get all these products later. So I didn't want her literally returning gifts and doing all these things to get this kit and then going into debt. I didn't want her doing that. So, I always do encourage people to get what they can afford, though. So we're going to go through, excuse me for yelling, we're going to go through the enroll section, which starts on page 16. I always look at this and then I get a little bit stuck. So I oftentimes I often get myself caught up in doing the same thing where I enroll people with kits that I think that I can afford. So I put my financial situation, I forecast my financial situation on them. So when I was starting out with the business, my husband and I were not rolling in the dough. We were very poor, but it was a fun time of life. And so I found myself telling people that they should just get the Home Essentials or Family Essentials kit, which back then was the Dr. Mom kit. Then it changed to Family Physician, and now it's the Family Essentials. But I would have them get that kit because I didn't think anybody could afford anything else, because I couldn't afford anything else. And then I got really nervous about getting people on LRP because LRP was a huge stretch for me. And so I figured it was a huge stretch for everybody. And what I didn't realize is people easily spend $100 a month going to the gas station and buying junk food, sodas, cookies, candy, or going out to eat. Like, they spend their money. Everybody can afford LRP, because I see people spending their money on other things that I'm just thinking, man, you just spent $5 a day on stuff that is hurting your body. What if you saved that same $5 a day and spent it on something that was going to help you feel better, live longer, and feel happier, So I realized that everybody can afford LRP, and maybe it's just $50 a month, and that's okay, but everybody can afford it. In fact, I've really learned that you can't afford not to be on LRP. I become more and more grateful for my essential oils as time goes on. When I first started using the oils, I thought they were great. And I had moments where I'm like, oh, that worked so great. And then I'd have moments where I'm like, oh, darn, it didn't work. And I still have those moments where I'm like, oh, that didn't work how I wanted it to, or it didn't take away this cough or cold or whatever as quickly as I wanted it to. But then I have other moments where I'm like, wow, that head tension that I had going on is completely gone. Or that sunburn I just got, it's totally not throbbing anymore. It feels so much better. So it's amazing to see what the oils do and how I continue to fall more in love with them. It's just like my marriage. I tend to fall more in love with my husband each day. And I know that sounds cheesy and cliche, and you might roll your eyes, but the more I get to know him and the more time I spend with him, I like him more. I feel that same way about my essential oils. Is the more time I spend with my oils, the more that I really like them. Because I see what they do for my family, and that's huge for me. So the more that I like the oils, the more anxious I am for other people to have them in their homes. So what I want you to do is, I love this exercise of writing down all of the ways that these kits could serve new customers or builders. I will be honest. I think the Diamond Kit is great for somebody who wants to jump in feet first, huge with the business, or a chiropractor. Somebody who just wants to use these for their family. Definitely they can get this, but I don't necessarily think that it's the best way to start for most people. I think the Diamond Kit is great, but personally, I love people to get on a kit that they're not going to be thinking, well, I already have everything. I don't know what I'd get on LRP next month. So that's why I love the Natural Solutions kit, or I love the Home Essentials kit, or they've got the Every Oil kit's absolutely great because they can get at other products. So for me, I think the Diamond Kit definitely has its place. Somebody that wants to go all out, build right away, go gangbusters, that has diamond aspirations within a year, Diamond Kit's definitely a great way to go. Chiropractor, it's a great way to go. A naturopath doctor, great way to go. I love to get people with the Natural Solutions kit because I feel like it gives them a really good sampling of all of the products that doTERRA has. It has the vitamins, it has the oils, it's got soap, it's got a lot of really great things, but it doesn't completely, for me, I want them to be able to have products to purchase the next month. And it definitely is going to leave them with wanting more because, it's interesting. Sometimes I think, oh man, the Natural Solutions kit has so much, but then I'll recommend an oil and realize, you know what, they still have so much to get. So what I would do is write down the value of benefits that you think come from each kit. And who do you think is going to benefit from each kit? I think anybody that has a family, that Natural Solutions kit is absolutely going to be incredible. That's the kit that I absolutely love to start with. And the reason is, and they've actually shown this in doTERRA, that sometimes when people purchase a little bit of a smaller kit, and when I mean smaller, I'm talking Natural Solutions, that they're going to get on and stay on LRP for longer. Because they have need for the product more and it's not as overwhelming. So I don't mean to negate these huge kits, but personally, I love to get somebody on Natural Solutions and keep them on LRP every single month because they've had a taste of some of the products and they know, oh my gosh, there's so much more I want to try, and they get excited about it. So write down the value and the benefits of these bigger kits and what's going to happen with them if they were to purchase this kit when they enroll. So now I want to talk more about booking classes from classes. So this is going to be huge. And I do believe that we talked about this last week or the week before as well, when we were talking about inviting to classes, is booking classes from classes is huge. Because what's going to happen is, and you know this because you're at least elite, is that you've invited your same friends to the same class over and over and over. So what I'm doing right now in my business, what I really focus on is I do one-on-ones. If I find somebody that's new in the business, I immediately get a one-on-one set up. Or excuse me, not even a business, but somebody that's interested in the oils, I immediately set up a one-on-one. Because for me, I know that I may not have a class for 2 weeks and it's going to be a cleaning class, which is going to be awesome, but I don't want to do a whole new intro class for the one person that's there while the 5 people who have already ordered before are going to be a little bit bored. So I love one-on-ones. And then what I love to do is book classes from classes and have people host classes for me. So that's what I focus on. So this month, I'm going to be doing one continuing education class. It will be my personal class. I'm going to do my one-on-ones as usual. And then I'm going to have, my goal is to have 5 or 6 classes that are hosted by people that I have enrolled so that I'm tapping into their network as well. So what I like to do is they give you some really good tips. And one fun thing that you can do is always have a calendar with you, and you can put stickers on the dates that you have availability for class. So that way, whenever you mention to somebody the opportunity of doing a class, you have your calendar right then and there that shows you when you're able to host. So at the end of every class that I do, I always give an incentive to the host, and then I always let people know that there is an incentive for booking their own class. Now, you could even do something like bring a bunch of keychains and just say, okay, anybody who wants to book a class tonight will get this 8-vial keychains, and I'm even going to put 2 of my favorite oils in this keychain for you so that you can have this. You tell them about, they don't have the share program anymore. That's something that doTERRA is phasing out, so we won't want to tell them about the share program. But you can also offer a gift. I like to do a booking gift, but then I like to do a gift for performance because, sometimes people will do a class just because they're getting an upfront gift, but they don't really put time or effort because they don't really have any skin in the game. They don't really care if people show up because they're thinking, hey, I got my keychain. So I always like to attach an incentive to a number of people that they could get at their class. And then I book classes from classes. That is one of my favorite things because you'll notice it turns into this web where you'll get a new class, and then from that class you get another class, and you don't want your business to die because you're not booking classes off of classes, or you're going back to the drawing board at the beginning of every single month thinking, oh, great, I have to start over. You don't really want to be in that place. You want to be able to get classes it's like right now, I know I need to reach out to 6 people that want to host, maybe 4 or 5 people or 6, I can't remember, but I have several people that want to host in April, and I'm going to go ahead and get all of those classes. And then at those classes, I want to get at least 1 to 2 classes, because then I've turned into 5 classes into 10, which is huge. So booking classes off of Classers is absolutely huge. Now, another fun thing, and I call it fun because I really do enjoy this, and that is helping people overcome their objections when I'm closing. So when I close a class, I close twice. I close when I am with the whole group, and then once I'm done, I go around with everybody, because some people have a deer in the headlights look, or they're not quite sure what to do, but I go through and I help them overcome their individual objections. And this gives you some ideas of things that you can say. And one of my favorite thing that to say is this, I think the husband or the spouse thing is what comes up most of the time. And usually it comes back to money, or that my husband will kill me if I spent this much money, and sometimes I know it's a bluff or a smokescreen. Sometimes there are genuine concerns, and sometimes people genuinely need to check with their husband. I personally do not need to ask my husband for permission to buy a $150 kit. And I didn't when I got married, and we were dirt poor either. Like when I was going to be doing doTERRA, of course I told him, but my husband and I's relationship is one, we're on the same page financially, and he knows that if something is important to me, he's okay if I buy it, because he knows that I'm not a spender. So, and some people don't have that dynamic. Some people really do need to run things by their husband, but I would have used that as an excuse of, I don't know what my husband's going to say. I would need to talk to him first. I use that smokescreen all the time with people when I'm not really, or if I have another concern or I'm not really sure, I use the husband card. And so if someone was to say, well, when you talk to your spouse, what do you think they would say? Well, he probably really wouldn't care. So, and then that's what I like to say, can I share with you what I've learned? And then I educate how to talk to their spouse. So basically I always tell people, you know what? Husbands are always reluctant about these oils first, but I will tell you, they're the number 1 advocate of oil in the home after a couple of months. Almost always. Not always, because there's times they never really get into it, but I'll never forget my husband, hearing him get into our little closet in our hallway and using some Digestin for the first time without me begging him to use an oil. And now he loves his oils. In fact, he asked me the other day, he just got an office. He said, hey, can I take some oils and a diffuser to the office? Of course you can. He was just wanting to know which diffuser to take and which stash of oils he should go rummage through. But I always tell people that, at first he was reluctant. And so I purchased the oils because I knew if I was going to wait for his permission, like for him to like the idea of the oils, it would never happen. So I figure for me, I personally realized that with him, begging for forgiveness was going to be better than asking for permission, which, to be honest, I didn't really need anyway. And then using the oils on him and showing him how they would benefit him. A good foot rub will go a long way. So the point is that you want to ask a question, what do you think your spouse would say? Get permission from them and wait for permission. Don't say, hey, can I ask you a question? And then ask it anyway. Wait for permission. And then educate them on your experience with your husband and how you got your husband to a place of liking the oils, because that's going to be the best thing. But this basically goes through 4 different concerns that you're going to find all the time. I don't have time to use these oils. That's my favorite, because I'm thinking, well, personally, I don't have time to go to the doctor's office. That's what I don't have time for. And let's talk about time. I don't have time to go to Walgreens, stand in line at the pharmacy and get a prescription. That's what I don't have time for. So that's why I love my oils. So you're going to have things that will help you get through money, time, spouse, and not needing the oils. And share your personal experience. That is what is going to be the most powerful. Or if you know a powerful story of somebody else, that is going to be an important thing to do. So really works, resolving concerns is fun. And the most important thing you can do is be confident when you're resolving concerns. People are reading you and watching you. If they can tell that you're hesitant, or, yeah, I totally know how you feel, or, oh, my husband, he kind of hates these oils too. Well, that's not going to get you very far. So being confident and saying, look, validate their concern, and then confidently show them how to overcome that concern. That is going to be key. And if you don't know the answer, say, you know what, I'm not exactly sure, but I know where to find the answer, or I know exactly who I can talk to, and I can get back to you on that. But being confident is going to be the key, because you're asking somebody to spend a lot of money, and we know how well these oils work, but they don't. And if they can sense our confidence, because they came to a class because of us, That's going to be huge. I love to use Feel Felt Found. I know exactly how you feel. I felt that same way. I was so poor when I started using these oils. We were living off $1,700 a month. We had one child. We owned our own home. We were paying our own health insurance. We were living off that $1,700 a month. So when I found these oils, like, I wanted them so bad, but I didn't know how to afford them. But what I found is once I purchased them, literally they saved me a trip to the dermatologist / my husband. And honestly, saving a trip to the dermatologist saved me $500. So by purchasing this kit of oils, I immediately saved about $500. So I found I couldn't afford not to have these in my home. They were absolutely amazing. So use the Feel Felt Found and really go through this sheet on page 18 of how to resolve concerns. And, be confident and be compassionate. Those are huge things, because honestly, I want people to have these in their homes. And it breaks my heart when they won't put them in their homes because of money or time or spouse. Like, I want these to have these in their home. I heard a cool story this last week. I have a friend who has a brain tumor, and she has worked really hard with Western medicine to resolve these brain tumors. And basically they're in an inoperable part of her brain. To do surgery and biopsy them could be deadly. It could kill her. They don't know. It may not, it might kill her, but that's like a really big risk to take when deciding to do a surgery. And the medications that they're giving her to help with the tumors is giving her horrible side effects. And so she came to me, and of course, whenever I hear somebody has something like this, I always want to give them oils, but I also realize that they're being bombarded with about 20 other people telling them to eat peaches, or literally I had someone tell my sister-in-law that she would be able to have babies if she would eat fresh peaches. But they're getting bombarded with people telling them what to do and how to care for their health. And I knew that was going on for her. And so she came to me and said, I want to try these oils for this health concern that I've got going on. And I've been working with her, and she's been wanting to use oils to help relieve head tension, things like that. And it's been absolutely incredible to see the results that she's having. It's amazing. And I'm excited to see what they can truly end up doing for her. And not only for her, but what they can do for her family. So for me, like, I want to stop at nothing to get these oils in people's homes, because I know how powerful they are. So as I have that attitude, I realize it helps people to overcome their concerns, because they can sense, I want these oils in their home. This isn't just me about making fast start money off of them. This is about me. In fact, to be honest with you, I overinvest. And I don't recommend that people do this necessarily, but I make sure they have a book and a diffuser, and I reinvest my fast start money into those two things. So oftentimes I don't make a dime off fast start money, and sometimes I lose a little bit of money, but I want people to have these books and a diffuser in their home so that they can get the best benefit possible out of these oils. And I don't want any of you guys thinking, oh, well, I can't do that, I can't afford that. Then don't. Do what you can afford in your business right now. But realize that as you have that desire for people to have these in their homes for their own benefit, you're going to be able to close your classes easier. So now we're going to switch gears just a little bit. I keep looking at my phone to make sure we're on the right time. Is placements. You're going to have these enrollments, and you might think, okay, well, great. What do I do with these placements? And you may still be feeling murky on placements. Like, I don't know what to do. So my basic rule of thumb is that I start one leg, and I put everybody in that leg until I find a rock star builder that I can put on my front line. And then I start working with that person to get their own enrollments. And then when I find another person who's even better than that second builder, or just as strong, I start a third leg. And so on and so forth. So then I start leg 4, and then I start leg 5. So basically, I'm always looking for, I'm always wanting to make sure I get a leg secured before starting a new one, and making sure that before I start a new one, I have the right person in that spot. And then I put all of my placements in the current leg that I'm working on. So this just goes through some of the finer print details on placements, advanced placements, the 6-month inactivity move, enroller change, placeholder. So I'd invite you to go through and read all of this. I won't spend time reading this through, because I know you guys can read just as well as I can. So you can go through this, but make sure that if you're ever feeling unclear on placements, work with your mentor on this. Now, another thing that you need to be focused on is finding people that want to do this business. And, a lot of people will tell me, I don't really mention the business. Well, if you don't mention the business, you're going to have a hard time finding people to do the business with you. Because either people are going to think, first of all, they're not going to realize that this is a business opportunity, Or they might think, well, why isn't she telling me about the business? Does she not like it? Or, so you always want to mention the business. I always mention the business at my classes, even if it's just very briefly at the end. I always mention the business when I do my wellness consult, and it's always very brief. I want to be respectful of people, but I always mention the business so that they know it's an opportunity for them. This is also a really good reminder of how you make money with doTERRA, and it outlines the different parts of the compensation plan. I think they have there's 5 different ways you can get paid. There's retail, there is fast starts, power 3, unilevel, and the performance pools. So there's like the leadership pools or the diamond pools. So this will walk you through all the different ways that you can get paid. As you are more excited about our compensation plan, it is going to bleed through, and the people that you're talking to are also going to be more excited about our compensation plan. The one last page that you'll want to go through this week is page 22. And I think it's important of you to have a belief in LRP. If you do not believe in LRP, or you are only doing it because you have to do it, you're going to have a hard time finding people to do LRP as well. I will do LRP no matter what. Like, I use these oils so much. I go through probably a bottle of Helichrysum maybe not once a month, but every 6 weeks. Helichrysum is amazing for immune support. Amazing. My kids have been ridiculous healthy in probably what is the worst cold and flu season I have ever seen in my life. Like, people have been so sick this year, and we have been so healthy. And a lot of that is that lovely bottle of Helichrysum and Arbor Vitae. So right then and there, I need at least one of those every single month, because it is keeping us so healthy. So I love loyalty rewards. If you do not love loyalty rewards and you are only doing it for a paycheck, you are going to struggle getting people to do loyalty rewards, because you feel a burden to do LRP. They're going to feel that same burden. I love doing my loyalty rewards. I process my order on the 1st of every month. And maybe if I don't do the 1st, I do the 2nd. But I process my order at the beginning of every single month. And I'll be honest with you, I'm never completely out of anything when my order processes. I get excited to do it because I love loyalty rewards. I love getting Lifelong Vitality. I love the shampoo and conditioner. I'm so excited to order the liter size containers of it in April. And even though I have probably 10 bottles of each shampoo and conditioner, I'm still going to order the liter size because I'm excited about it. So if you're only doing your 100 because you have to get paid, I would invite you to change your attitude on that and realize poverty is a mindset, totally a mindset. I can look at 2 different people that make the exact same amount of money, and one literally appears to be in poverty and the other one doesn't. And it's amazing. In fact, I had 2 friends that lived in Idaho that, like, you would have thought, one of them was my neighbor, and you would have thought that they were literally making nothing, because all I ever heard from them is, we don't have money. And it was just interesting how poverty was a mindset. And then I was talking to another friend later on who always had a cute new car, and it wasn't a brand new car, but it was new to them. And they didn't always have a new one, but they always had a car they loved. Her house was decorated absolutely adorably. Her kids were well-dressed. And I found out she made less money than the person that lived across the street. And I about fell over. And it's simply because poverty is a mindset. So I would invite you to have an abundance mentality. And maybe there's some things that you need to work around in your budget. But if you're feeling like this LRP is such a stretch and a strain and a stress on you, change that attitude, because if you do well, you will be able to get people on LRP faster. And when you get people on LRP faster, your business grows. So, it's good to go through these questions of, do you understand the benefits of 100 PV? Like, do you understand, you should be using 100 PV a month. Easy. I can use 500 PV a month. If by the time I get my kids on PV Assist, the vitamins, I take LLV, I use the shampoo and conditioner, I use the hand soap, and I don't even use all of doTERRA's products. I use Virage skincare. Like, I use hundreds of dollars of these products a month because I believe in them so much. So, and I love to get the free product of the month, even though, to be honest with you, I don't need it. I have plenty of oils, I have plenty of products, but I love to do it. So make sure that you understand all of these things and that you are feeling comfortable with LRP, because if you feel more comfortable in it, that will transfer into the people that you're working with. They will feel more comfortable with it as well. So you go ahead and read through page 22 as well, but just really, for sure, realize the benefits of LRP yourself. So I know that was a long, probably lecture on LRP, but the value your customers place on LRP is a reflection of your own. And that's just the bottom line, is if it's uncomfortable for you, and like if someone comes to you and says, hey, I need to order a bunch of products this month, and that's your order for the month. For me, I have a girl that does that. She's like, hey, I need a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, well, I need my own LRP, so she can't use mine. I mean, I'll just, she can either buy stuff out of my inventory, or I'll place her order somewhere else on my team where I need a little bit of volume. But it's like, I don't replace mine because I need my stuff. So learn to truly love the LRP and learn to truly change your mindset to become one of abundance. Even if you don't feel like you make a lot of money, you guys, I lived off $1,700 a month. We were making a house payment of $750. I was paying $300 of health insurance a month. That's a lot of money. I didn't have a smartphone because I couldn't afford it. I grew a garden and bottled and canned everything because, I always paid for my LRP, and I wanted to do my LRP. I was excited about it. Even if I wasn't making back the money I was spending yet, I wanted to be on LRP. I loved what the oils did. So learn to really love your LRP too, and it will help your customers as well. So this week you are going to just watch all of those videos that we post, and I'm excited. Learn to love that LRP and help get more people on your team on LRP as well.